Well, welcome back. This is hour number 2 of Tampa Home Talk, and we're glad you're here. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you're already out of your car on your way to work, don't forget to turn on Money Talk 1010.
You can have Alexa turn it on for you, too.
Yeah. Alexa will turn it on, and you guys will be able to basically go ahead and listen via Money Talk 1010 right on your Alexa.
What happened over there?
I don't know. This thing is like mangled. I have to
Our guest just figured out a new way to put the microphone on.
Right. Which side would you like this microphone? And we'll get you fixed up. It was all like in a knot.
I've never seen that before.
So, well, it's a little different. So if you're in the Beasley studio with us, you have a microphone like right in your face. And this one's kind of like just attached to you. So it works a little better when it's not in a knot. So let's introduce our guest, shall we?
Yes, go for it.
So we have Miss Wendy Harding. She's events market coordinator for a lot of the major stuff that you see on the water in and around Tampa. And her sidekick also tagging along today, Miss Sabrina Chavez.
Yes.
Let's get it right, yeah? Not bad for a white girl, right? It's okay? All right. I grew up in Tampa, right? So I got a little bit of that Spanish flair in my vocabulary. So let's talk about some of the really cool events. And I was asking you before the show, since you do a lot of event planning in and around and on the water.
Yes, I do.
Tell me how you got started in this, and then we'll talk about some of the stuff you have coming up and some of the events you've had in the past, and also your vision of some things you're going to be bringing in the future.
Well, let's see. So I got started years ago, probably 7-8 years ago, and I actually was traveling across into Hong Kong and Thailand and working with jewelry. And I would come back. I lived on Harbor Island, and I had a gentleman that owned a store back then, or actually a restaurant back then, who had a daughter, and he came from Italy, and he had these really pretty vases. And he said, I want to sell these, and you have jewelry. Let's bring your jewelry in. And then it became 5 of us that all vended just in front of a restaurant
on Harbor Island?
Yes. And then he took me outside and he said, Wendy, I see this growing all the way down the street. And so eventually we grew Harbor Island Art Walk, which was there for 6 years. And after that, then we started moving around to different venues, especially with all the construction that's going on all over that side of the waterway.
So you're contracted a lot with large companies to manage events and bring local businesses and just creatives and community together kind of all in one place, right?
Yes.
And so we were saying one of the largest ones you've done, you had 9,000 people in November, right?
Yes.
That's
yes.
large.
For it was the Fall Food Festival?
It
right?
was.
Tampa,
yes.
You guys are foodies, man. You like the food.
We do.
So tell me, was it all just food trucks, or what was there?
No, we had food trucks. We had artisans there. We had artists there. We had small businesses there. We had inventors there that were local inventors. We try to really stick with the local community and in introducing the visitors to our local businesses. So, yeah. A lot of that.
And so one of your next ones coming up is actually the Sweet and Spicy Festival?
Yes.
So what is the Sweet and Spicy Festival?
So that it will entail a lot of different chefs and small batch hand makers that will be doing everything from gluten-free, vegan. There'll be food trucks there.
Nice.
There'll be everything from confectioners, sugars, chocolates, honeys, you name it, all the way
So
to
I'm looking at
spices.
cupcakes and frosted
Yes.
strawberries and all
Yes.
this sort of stuff.
Chocolate-covered strawberries. There will be a lot of very unique things that I haven't even tried before. So we're excited to have people come down. Also, the spicy side, of course, will be rubs. There'll be hot sauces, salsas, barbecues.
And this is mostly all vendors selling food, or is there anything
Yes.
else?
Foods, packaged foods. A lot of that will be packaged take-home. Rubs, things like that. And then also we will go right into the artisans, and there'll be hand makers that will be there as well, because what goes better with food than to be able to walk around and shop?
And this is coming up February 8th.
Yes.
Is that the same weekend as Super Bowl? Is that the weekend before?
No, Super Bowl
Weekend
is
before.
the weekend before, because it's the same weekend as the Jacksonville Dog Show I'm going to.
I know. You don't watch football. That's right, because the Pro Bowl is this
It's going to
week.
be the Packers and the Titans.
No,
No?
it's not the Packers tonight. I know, right? He's definitely not the football guru. And so most recently on January 19th, you guys did the Tampa Riverwalk Fit Festival?
Yes, that was
So
a fit festival.
What was that about? Because I definitely did not go, and I'm just curious what was there. What did I miss?
So we had, you can pipe in here, Sabrina. We had One Blood, which was for people to be able to come and donate blood. And when you do donate blood, you are saving about 3 lives each time you do that.
Oh, wow.
So they were there. We also had a bone density company there. So we had a lot of free screenings. We were really, it was our first time doing a fit event. We had...
Was it a race or a run, or what was it?
No, not at all. It was just really an introduction to the public of the different services that were available to them in the area. We had a lot of business owners that were there that had things like portable gyms that they brought to you in case you're too lazy to go to a gym.
Well, in the colder climates, right? They build the gym because they can't always leave.
Exactly.
Here, we don't really have that issue, but it's time, right?
Right.
Where do you want to spend your time?
Exactly. So we had yoga, a lot of yoga wear. We had yoga classes. We had CrossFit, a lot of different companies.
Multiple
What else did we have?
gyms. So
Yeah.
we had a bunch of gyms that showed up. Also hand makers, which was really nice.
What's
Yeah.
a hand maker?
Hand makers are people who are artisans that will make items. So it's all handmade. Local artisans.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you'll find people, like if you've got certain types of skin issues, maybe psoriasis or things like that, you're able to walk up to a booth and they will introduce you to different types of like black seed oil or neem or things that, and you can actually customize your own creams.
And is there a cost to attend any of the festivals,
No.
or is it just parking, or?
Free, just parking. If there's no parking, free.
Got it. And so one of the things you're also involved in is the Soho Night Market.
Yes, we
Have
are
you been
just.
to the Soho Night Market?
I didn't even know there
Leo?
was a Soho
Yeah.
night market. Is that in Stops at Swan area, or is that
Yeah.
actually on Howard?
McDitton's
McDitton's.
Yes.
That would be on Howard.
So it's the third Wednesday
of every month. Yes, yes.
And so tell me what to expect. I've never been there.
So that's a night market, and we're actually just, it's in its newbiness. We are just launching it before the holidays. We've had everything from green companies that have been there. Oh, yeah, here we go. Again, a lot of hand makers, a lot of jewelers, packaged foods, and right now we're starting a promo where when you come and you purchase something from a local hand maker, we give you a free drink.
Oh, from McDonald's.
So
Okay.
yes,
I want a free
absolutely.
drink
Here you
card.
go. Here you go.
Free drink card.
Thank you.
You bet.
So the Soho Night Market, like what time does this run? When
5
to when?
o'clock to 9 o'clock.
So 5 to 9. So and is how
Third Wednesdays.
How's the traffic on a Wednesday night in Soho? Is it still busy?
So, well, that's why we do a night market there, is also to bring people out on that particular evening. But it's hump day or hump eve. So, we're working on, getting that night market out there for people to be able to enjoy something on that Wednesday.
You know, sometimes if you're just looking for a little something to do,
Sure.
you could wander around, go have dinner somewhere there, and just check out the.
A lot of, it's got a real nice walk rate right there. So there's a lot of things you can do right there in South Howard.
And then you guys have other events also planned, right? That you're coming up. Like you've got a Shamrock. Is it
Yes, Shamrock
Riverwalk
Festival. That's going to be the weekend of the,
March 14th.
March
Is that
14th.
right?
Yes.
And so, tell me about the different festivals. Are they always like food and different vendors like this, or is it anything else?
We always try to bring food into it, but we have different twists. As you can see, the one that we just did was having to do with fitness, where the one that we're coming up with is sweet and spicy. So it's kind of more focused on chefs that do confections or hot sauces.
I love that. And you've
Yeah.
got another one that we didn't talk about yet, which I don't know if that's past or that's coming, but we'll talk about that when we come back after the break.
Sure.
And you mentioned a couple cool ideas that you guys have for the future. So
Yes.
we will talk about both of those when we come back.
Okay.
Right after this break here on Tampa Home Talk. So stick around. Our off-air number is 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775. You can call or text that number. That is our off-air number.
Yeah, and I'm in communications with your off-air people right now.
Oh, I promised I would print your stuff, and I will do that actually now. Are they responding back to you?
They're responding back to
Okay.
me. It's
So-
that fast. Lightning fast.
Did she send it to you or not
I
yet?
would say lightning fast, but aren't we like out of the playoffs again this year?
Oh, yeah, the Bucks have been out for a while. Jameis made the 30-30-30 club, so,
Lightning, that's hockey.
You don't watch.
With the Bucks? The Bucks are still in Tampa? I thought they sold to Montreal.
No, we did not. All right. This is Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back after the break, and we'll give our on-air number out if you want to call in.
Welcome back. This is Leo Kane at Tampa Home Talk. I'm the only one with a microphone right now, so I'm just going to talk to Pat. If you guys would like to put your microphones back on, greatly appreciated. Me? Isn't he the guy that shoplifted crab legs? No, he was a quarterback who got arrested for shoplifting, but he graduated. Yeah. So then what happened to him? Oh. Hey, isn't Tampa getting the Super Bowl next year?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. And we have no chance of being in the Super Bowl, so we just host it instead.
Hey, watch this.
Are you going to do any festivals around the Super Bowl next year?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
you got to
pretty
think
sure.
that we're going to have all these, hundreds of thousands of tourists in town for that weekend?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What kind of festivals could you put together, and where would you put them together?
I would probably do something where we're introducing local artists again and local foods, because that's what they're going to want.
And if the stadium's on Dale Mabry, where would you be trying to position these?
Well, I think that people will be staying within
over.
15-mile radius. So I think downtown, that's kind of my fun spot.
So do you visit like other festivals? Like I know Armature Works does like an indie flea once a
Sure.
month. Do you visit those to look for vendors for your stuffs?
Sure, yeah. I actually have vendors from there and vice versa.
Nice. So, you have stuff you said coming up during Gasparilla weekend?
No,
No.
February
You don't wanna compete
8th.
with that.
February 8th.
February 8th.
Yeah,
that's going to be
that's
fun.
the sweet and spicy.
Do you have any involvement with the Renaissance Festival or things of that nature?
Actually, they were going to come in costume and to our festivals because they pass out discount tickets, and so we will work with them hand in hand to help promote that as well.
Awesome. And just because I'm very pro Ybor City, have you considered doing anything inside of the Ybor City limits?
Not
down
enough
south?
room yet.
Don't know?
Not enough room yet.
Not enough room. What do you mean not enough room? We have the whole Centennial Park.
I know we do, but no, I prefer the river right now.
The river.
Yes,
The
absolutely.
walk is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Curtis
It's gorgeous.
Hickson,
2.5
and then we've also
miles
got-
of
yeah.
beautiful water.
Awesome. I wonder where Katrina went. And you've been doing this for how long?
Let's see, a little over 7 years.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So what made you decide to just jump right into this?
Actually, I didn't. I kind of fell into it by mistake. As I mentioned before, there's a restaurant owner that had some of his own items that came from Italy, and he wanted to sell them, and he knew that I was traveling out of the country bringing back jewelry, and so we just decided to kind of vend those few items at a restaurant, and then eventually it grew into a little over 60 people. That's about what I could max out at the Harper Island Art Walk, and then we, with all the construction going on, started looking elsewhere. I ran the downtown Tampa market for the downtown Tampa partnerships for a year, and that was where Malio's is, next to the Children's Museum, and also the Channel Side area,
That's just
Channel
awesome.
Side Plaza.
So you do anything over in St. Pete yet? Because they have a river too.
I did help to co-manage a event that goes on there on the water. Yes.
Awesome. Can you name the event, or are you just saying a event?
Awakening into the Sun,
Okay.
and that should be coming up again in March.
Awesome.
Usually the first weekend in March.
Because I know they're getting ready to, because in March, around that time, they were actually supposed to have open the new bay, the new pier.
I think so. Yes.
But it's been delayed, obviously.
Yes.
Because I'm sure you've heard about that.
Yes.
But that
And
would have
then-
been nice too. to have that one of your events at the same time as that opening.
Right. Well, I also was contracted out in St. Petersburg at the Dome over a 6-week period, and Sabrina helped me run a Christmas market there. So we had an authentic Christmas market that went on at Enchant Christmas.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And yes, that was wonderful.
You sell
We had
trees
ice
there?
skating. Well, there was ice skating, and so that went on. We also had a light maze that went on there. That was really fun. The light maze had to do with a storyline about Santa's reindeer being hidden in the lighted maze, and so it was interactive. And kids would come in and they had a scratch-off card, and they'd run around through the whole light maze looking for Dancer and Dixon and everybody else. Rudolph.
So it was like a haunted house, only reindeer were jumping out at you.
Beautiful, much more beautiful.
Well, I've seen some beautiful haunted houses, right, Katrina? And she's over there nodding. That's exciting. So you put
Yes.
on all these events around town, which is, giving back to the community is just great. Making Tampa more popular. I mean, we just had last hour we were talking about how Tampa in 2018 was voted the hippest city in America, and it's also top 20 places to go and eat in 2019.
Yes.
And it is.
Are you looking for the hipster slide?
We have a lot
It
of
Is that
foodies.
what
was, but I can't find it.
Hold on, I'll find it for you.
Lots of foodies here.
Yeah,
Business Insider.
yeah.
That's what you're looking
So
for.
one of the hippest. I feel like I'm doing one of the hippest cities, and one of the top 20 places to go and to eat.
Well, she's bringing the foodies, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
So we'll get to your numbers. They're not as exciting as you would think they will be,
Well,
but I
just
have
take a
them.
look at 'em.
I'll have them.
I didn't think
Hold
you
it.
would
You can
run
table
out
it.
and miss half the segment.
I didn't miss half the segment. Just part of it. Did you talk about the St. Patrick or the Shamrock
We
Festival
did.
yet or no? When was the Tampa Riverwalk Food and Art Festival? Did you already do that or no?
So that one was our November one.
Oh, that was the November one that was really
Yes,
busy.
Yes.
Why do you
We
think that was
sold
one of
out.
the
We had
biggest ones?
some
You
of
sold
our-
tickets?
Some of our food trucks ran out of food. Yes. It was
It's a
great.
good problem to have.
Wonderful. Yes. We'll do that again this fall. This fall it will be called the International Food and Art Festival.
So that's the new one. So you're changing the name of
Yes.
it, or you're just bringing a different spin, or a little bit different something?
But just the spin is international, so that people will be aware that foods will be coming from a lot of different makers from different countries. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You get to try different things, but you're also going to be bringing. You said artists, right? Like different artists.
Artists, yes, always. We like art. I like art. Art is where I started. The difference between art and food is when I did just art shows, people would stand there and go, "Where's the food?" So we started
Oh.
to, merge it with food. They kind of go hand in hand.
No, where are you from originally? I know you said 8 years ago you started doing the Harbor Island thing, but where'd you come
I
from?
did. So originally I came from Michigan, and my mother's Hawaiian Chinese.
Okay.
And so my mother and father met in Okinawa, Japan, and he brought her back to, I say, a snowbank. And that's
Michigan.
where I was raised, right, up in Michigan.
We get
So-
a lot of Michigan folks that come here.
Yeah, a lot
What part of Michigan?
nice ones, really nice ones.
They are. They really are some of
Yeah.
the nicest people.
Definitely.
What part of Michigan?
Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the western side. So I always explain to people that in comparison to Florida, logistically, Tampa and Grand Rapids are almost in the same spot. If you just laid one state right over the other, they're both on the west coast. They're both close to the water. Instead of Miami,
water's a
we had
little different.
Detroit.
It feels a
Water's gonna be a little
Oh,
different here.
listen, people always used to say that. My daughter's father would say, "Oh, we have such beautiful beaches in Florida," and we really, really do. But if you've not seen the beaches in Michigan, they're great there too.
Like, what kind of beach do you have in Michigan? I've never been there,
Dark
so I'm
blue
asking.
waters.
Really?
The water's different. Yes, very dark blue. The more north you go, the darker blue it gets. Our sand, we have dunes, so our sand is just not a flat beach. They're dunes. You can hide in them.
But it's cold,
Picnic in
right? Isn't
them.
the water very, very cold?
It's very cold. Yes, it doesn't warm up very much.
The water's cold now this time of the year. Here,
Yeah, for us Floridians, for sure.
I was in my heaviest winter jacket yesterday.
I don't, the hot and the cold flashes back and forth. I don't think it helps. right? With some of the junk flying around.
Yeah, with the flu season.
Enough with the flu season, okay?
I'm just putting a PSA out there. January and February are considered the height of the flu season, and there are more cases of the flu in January and February than the rest of the year combined.
Okay, what other flu facts do you have?
The flu vaccine this year is proved to be helpful in fighting the strand of the flu. But
Do you get the flu vaccine?
I get it every year because I get a gift card.
I don't get it.
You get a gift card for a flu
When
shot?
you get my flu shot, which is usually a Publix, I get a gift card for $10. So I just get it. It takes a couple of minutes. So
You
it's-
do it for a $10 gift card?
I get a $10 gift card and use a Publix. It gets me a pack.
I did that this year.
Yeah.
You did too?
I did
Publix?
that this year, yep, at Publix.
I don't know.
You have to keep getting the flu shot every year, though, because you're getting different strands of it. So the flu you might get this year might not be the one you're vaccinated against. So you have to get it every year.
I just don't believe in the flu shot, so I don't get
I
it.
believe in a $10 gift card for 2 minutes of time.
Only
I
you
believe
do
I didn't get one, and I slept for the last 2 weeks.
that. Did you have the flu?
I did.
Oh, well, you were talking about that right before she
Right
came
before
in.
the break. I'm very pro flu shot.
All right. So when we come back, because I know Leo's just dying. I can see him like eyeballing the numbers from across the room.
No. I already looked at him. I'm depressed.
Okay, we're going to talk about him anyway. You want to talk about it? We brought it. So, did you see the first page? Because we're going to chat about that when we come back. Sure, you guys already know the 4 largest cities in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about some of the smaller cities too. What if you're sick of some of the traffic and you want to move to a different city in Florida? We're going to talk about that.
Dade City.
It's not Dade City.
Not Dade City?
All right, it's Tampahometalk. Our off-air number, 813-377-2775. Pat George, give it our on-air number when we come back right after the break. This is Tampa Home Talk. And I'm your host, Katrina Madewell, here with Leo Kane, Barrel Engineering and Inspections, also joined by our special guest for the hour, Wendy Harding and Sabrina Chavez. Chavez. Is it with more of a B or a V?
V.
Oh, B. Chavez. So I wrote it right. Didn't really say it right.
That
All
kind
right.
of just snuck up on us coming back from the break.
No, I didn't hear anything at all.
Yeah.
But, you know. So I pulled your zip codes. You don't want to talk about it,
We
Leo?
can. I live in the cheapest zip code in the
You live in
area.
the ghetto?
I don't live in the ghetto, just the cheapest zip codes.
It's interesting. This is only the December numbers, right? Because nothing is
It
out
makes
for
me
the
feel
whole.
better if it's just the December numbers.
It's only December, yeah. So there's not. I don't have all the whole numbers for everything out. That'll probably be tabled for next week or the week after, maybe. Whenever I get the stats for all 2019,
That'd
we'll
be
chat
awesome.
about it.
I'd like to see the stats for all of 2019.
They're not out yet. We'll get them soon. So, in the state of Florida, guess how many homes moved in December in the whole state? Any guess, Pat?
I'm going to say 1P500.
In the whole
The
state
state?
of Florida?
We had more than that in just.
I thought you meant just in,
No, we had more than
No,
that in
the
the
whole
4-county area.
oh, then I'm going to say 400,000.
No, for December, for 1 month?
You asked me, that was my guess.
You made
Okay.
fun of him for his first guess, then
No.
you made fun of him for his second guess. Of course he's gonna.
Me anymore.
I'm
Yeah.
not making fun of you, Pat. You're my buddy. I gotta take care of you. I'm not making fun of you.
We want to talk about what happened to Ybor City. I took a trip down there last Saturday night, and isn't that the zip code for Rio?
Yes, 33605.
Yes. What is going on? There were so many homeless people on the street sleeping at 10 o'clock at night, and they were young people.
No, that's just from the parade. Those are hipsters that are passed out. Were they wearing beads? No, those are all just drunk hipsters that passed out. It was parade day.
Waiting for the next day to start.
Oh my gosh. All right, Pat. 36,294 sales in the state of Florida for the month of December. But I do have the information for the metropolitan areas. Do you want to hear about that?
Yeah.
So take a guess. I'm sure you already know. Which one is the hottest selling, like the most number of closed sales in the whole state of Florida?
I
No,
said
the whole
Pinellas.
state. The whole state. Miami.
Of
That's
course.
right.
By volume, yes.
7,792 people bought a home in Miami in December with their median price around $295. Craziness, isn't it?
That's actually affordable considering it's Miami.
Well, that's everything, right? Well, that's the home prices. So the average median price for a single family home was $375. There was almost 4,000 of those that sold, and then for townhomes and condos, the median price around $205.
So if I'm
It
doing
was around
commission-based
3,800.
real estate, I'd want to be in Miami then.
I mean, no, there's some higher prices actually.
Oh, where?
Yeah.
Do it for 15 and 30.
I gotta go get my app on
Wait,
my
wait a second.
phone
What
in the
is,
other room.
what is the
You gonna
price
do
you
it?
want the mortgage on? I can do that off the top of my head.
Okay, good. You do that.
A $300,000 home, you're looking at like $2,500 a month.
Oh, that's insanity.
What do you think rent prices are in Miami? They're probably about that same.
That's $600 every week. Just your mortgage before you do your car payment, your insurance, your health. How does anyone afford it?
Well, statistically, they say that, and this isn't a Dave Ramsey thing, this is just the U.S. metric thing, that 40% of your income goes towards your house. That's not
No,
that's
that was
not a Dave Ramsey.
25%.
No, 40%.
Are you talking about in general or Dave?
No, Dave. I said this
Yeah,
is not,
not
Dave's
Dave.
statistic.
Got it.
This is the
Yeah.
U.S. government statistic.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, Dave's statistic should be like 0%.
No,
you should have
25.
everything paid off.
No, 25%.
Yes, but yeah, the U.S. government says 40%. Yeah, I qualified that statement with saying it's not a Dave statement.
Does that factor in people that don't have a mortgage payment? It would have to, because we see ones that are higher. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
So guess who came in number 2 in the metropolitan area for sales?
Fort Lauderdale,
No,
Tampa.
Tampa. We had 5,866 closed sales in December in the 4-county area.
So we should be a realtor in Tampa because you have less competition and you have almost the same volume.
Here's the crazy part. Listen to this. Out of the 5,866 sales, median price was $235, right? The homes were about $250, and we had about almost 4,400 homes that sold. There was almost 1,300 that were condos or townhomes, and almost 200 mobile homes. We had more mobile manufactured home sales than anywhere in the state. Wow. For average price around 98, which is
Wait,
kind of crazy.
We beat Polk County?
I think we did.
We beat
yeah.
Polk County for mobile homes?
Well, this is, I don't even see Polk County on here. This is metropolitan areas,
Oh, this
right?
must
So
include-
Lakeland, Winter Haven will be Polk County, and we did. They had 91.
We had twice as many mobile homes sold as Polk County.
Yeah. December was about 31 days, time to contract, and then all the way time to sale, 72 days.
72 days.
Yep. So number 3, you guys know who that was, of course.
Broward County.
Orlando.
Orlando.
Lake, Orange, Osceola, and Seminole
I
counties.
keep saying Broward County. Where are they at?
They're like closer to Miami, so they're lumped into
Oh,
the
you should have
Miami
just told me that
numbers.
earlier. Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
You didn't
That's
realize
good.
that Broward is lumped into Miami metropolitan area?
That's like 2/3 of the population of the state.
Well, that's where their numbers are. And Orlando had over 4,000 sales just in the month of December. And so their median price is $265. For homes, they're around $283.5. They're more expensive than Tampa.
Orlando, yeah.
And then they had 770 condo or townhome sales with their median price around $195. And they had 88 mobile home sales.
I'm not surprised Orlando's more expensive. You're paying for the traffic.
What about this? 15 years to 30. Where does that fall? Where are people going?
That's not on this.
You mean projections?
No, 15 or 30-year mortgages. Which one are people taking?
Oh, most people are going with a 30. Because you have to think about it. There's not a big difference in the rates between a 15-year and a 30-year mortgage.
And you can just pay your 30-year down
You
mortgage
just make
faster.
a 15-year payment, and you have the comfort of a 30-year payment.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about one of the biggest cities, but take a guess where the smallest ones are. Where's the least amount of traffic and the least amount of people?
Palatka.
No. It's pretty funny. Okay, Sumter County, the Villages, 142 sales. Pretty funny, right? Okay. So outside of the Villages, Sebring, which was Highlands County, 185 sales.
Where's Palatka on here?
I have no idea where that is, Leo. Where's Palatka, Pat?
Yes.
I mean, in December, they had 142 total sales. 122 of those were single-family homes, 5 were condos and townhomes, and 15 were mobile homes.
I don't understand this. They Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples and Punta Gorda are 3 separate markets, but Miami and Broward are one.
And West Palm Beach is lumped into that number too. Don't forget.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's how they do it. Well, it's like saying, okay, what about Hernando, right, compared to Pinellas or Hillsborough? They're lumping them all together for our metropolitan area.
Yeah, but why are they leaving Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Naples, and Punta Gordas for separate markets?
I don't know the answer to that. I did not do this. Florida Realtors prepared this study.
Yeah, skewed tables.
Well, you have to tell them about it, Leo.
They should break Miami, Broward, and West Palm into 3 separate markets.
If you want the least amount of people, your median home price for a home is going to go to around 162, and you can move to Sebring, which is Highlands County. There's only 185 sales in December.
I'm just saying it's that table, if I was in charge of it, would be broken down differently.
They did put Northport, Sarasota, and Bradenton kind of all together, which makes sense.
Then why not put Naples, Fort Myers, and Charlotte County together? See, I don't understand these.
I don't prepare it. Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm shooting the messenger.
They put Naples and Immorality and Marco Island together. Collier County.
That's all
together.
Collier County.
But what are we asking, Pat, about Manatee, Sarasota?
How does he know? Down by Fort Myers.
Where did you see Fort Myers?
Uh,
Oh, yeah, Lee
I was
County.
pointing at it. You had it.
Lee.
yeah.
So they're actually way busier than they used to be. So they had 1,903 sales in December. Yeah. And their price was actually higher than Tampa. So for a single family home, 262.
But yeah, that area is
And even
speedier.
look at the condo price. They might have been, well, they're not quite one of the most expensive in the county. That would probably be Naples.
Yeah.
Yeah. Naples, yeah. But the Coral Gable, Fort Myers area, $209,000 for a condo or townhome. They had
Wait, did you say
613.
Coral Gables?
Yeah, they have it lumped together. Fort Myers.
No, Cape Coral. Coral Gables is Miami.
Oh, sorry, it is. Yes, you're right. Cape Coral, Fort Myers area. That's what Pat was asking about.
Yeah.
Jacksonville came in at number 4.
Nice.
No surprise, right?
A big city.
Yeah. 2,831 home sales there. And they had, let me see here, where did Jacksonville go? So this really surprises me, but their median price is up to almost 260. Really surprises me.
Wow.
I know, but it's the 4th largest metropolitan area in Florida.
I kind of want to see what these numbers look like for the whole year.
We'll have them
Just 1
soon.
month, yeah.
We'll have them soon, and we will chat about them.
Should I text the word whole year to 813
No, not yet. We don't have them. We'll let you know when
Don't
we
need
get
to text the word whole year to 813-377-277.
Those stats, I have been looking for those for a while, and they used to publish them a little more readily than we have seen them through Florida Realtors. And they do have a report, because I know they collect the data and they put like what zip code people move from. I know we get a lot of people in the Northeast, as we're talking with our guests, a lot of folks from Michigan come from the area. We've seen a lot of New York, especially with the new tax codes changing. We're seeing a lot of the New York, New Jersey
Like the
relocate
local
here.
tax changes, or the national tax
National,
changes?
national, yeah.
I got to get with my accountant. I don't know what those are.
Well, I know that they're paying more in taxes and write off less. That's really what I know about it.
Oh,
Speaking of homes, how many hot homes do you have in your list?
I don't have any printed, but I think we've got about 11 active listings. We've got some coming soon. It's not uncommon for us, like our listener that I mentioned, she's retired St. Pete police officer, and she, we signed her listing, but she won't actually be live until probably July.
oh wow. Because
Yeah.
you need that much time to stage and clean.
That's what they want, and they're moving to another place where their tenant's moving out, so that's their timeline, not ours. So we're going to work on what they have and guide them through the process, and we'll be ready to rock when they are. So that's how we work. All right, this is Tampa Home Talk. Our off-air number is 813-377-2775, 813-377-2775. If you have a question, feel free to call in here at the studio call-in lines. I'll let Pat give that out in a second. And we'll be back with our guests. Just talk a little bit more about some of the exciting things they have coming their way. And maybe they got a cool story or two they can share as well. This is Tampa Home Talk. We'll be back in just a minute. Stick around right after the break.
Well, good morning. Welcome back. We're to our last segment. It's almost been 2 hours. We've been talking about statistics,
You're in heaven.
Talking about food. We've been talking about food events. This has been like a perfect 2 hours for me.
I know, I bet.
And we've been talking about the flu season. Just make sure you're taking your Zicams daily. Seriously.
Oh, no words, Leo. No words.
You can't have no words. We have 12 more minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So our guests, you guys have been awesome. Thanks for letting us run through some numbers.
Thank
Really
you.
excited about that, I'm sure, right? When we joke around
Potential
that,
customers for her events.
exactly, that's right. I mean, look, just going to some of the economic development things that I visit, it's how many people are slated for this area in 20 years will blow your mind. I'm not sure where they're all going to go, but they're coming.
Well, we have realtors that take on booths at our events too.
Do they?
Yeah.
So how does it work when the agents have a booth? We just don't do that stuff. I mean, most of our business is referred and it's past clients or it's radio stuff.
Well, I think that it's agents that are maybe new in the field and they want to get their name out there and look for leads.
Yeah. Makes
Absolutely. Sure.
sense. I can understand
Build
that.
that funnel.
Not every radio person's a Dave Ramsey LP with 35,000 listeners, Katrina.
Yeah, I know, but it's just, my business model for years, because I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and I'm really blessed to have a lot of the same people. So most of our stuff really is either our past clients that come back, or they're referred, or we get some stuff from the radio. People that hear us on the air, and it's interesting to hear people's comments, right? So like when I went to that listing appointment this week, I think being authentic, people feel that, right? 'Cause I'm who I am. I just show up and I be me. And so I think people can feel that there's a sense of authenticity that comes through the air. And then people, they feel like they know you already. Like, I've shown up and talked to a lot of our listeners and they remember stuff. They remember when I had my first show on Beasley 3 years ago and was late. You remember that, Pat? I was like, was it? I might be losing some
I've
time.
been involved in this for 3 years.
So, yeah, I'm losing time. It's been 4 years. But, yeah, I thought for sure Charlie was going to say, hey, don't come back. But, no, he was like, do you want to go 5 days a week? Not right now, Charlie. Not right now. So, all right. So, what do you got? You got any crazy stories? Any really fun stuff? Tell me about one of the coolest vendors you ever remember.
Oh, geez. Let's see. Cool vendors. I think the artists all of them are so talented, and I've had, the pleasure of working with a lot of them. Now, I learned from doing one-day art walks that in the beginning I would just have these fabulous, everything from leafy waterfalls to life-size welded pirates,
Wow.
you name it, things like that. And then eventually, a lot of artists that have paintings, we've seen those fly as well. So, being out in the
You've seen them fly.
Oh, yes, because of the wind. So,
okay.
when you're used to having your art in a studio and then you bring it outside to try to sell it.
It's like a sale.
Yes, exactly. Or rain.
Yeah.
Winds have knocked things over and broke stained glass. Pieces, just lots of things like that. So you start not getting the finer arts unless you do longer shows, like a 2 or a 3 day show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why another reason why we migrated a little bit more towards the handcrafted, that are smaller items that they can pack up easy and not have to take them out of a studio and damage them by bringing them to a 1 day show. One of the funny things that you had asked was kind of what was one of the wildest things that have ever happened, and there's always little ones, tents flying, things like that. But we had a hurricane that was coming, and it was going to hit the East Coast. I lived in Fort Lauderdale at the time, and so I'm coming over knowing that I have a show at Harbor Island, and I get here, and you're just kind of watching the weather, watching the hurricane, and now it's come down like by the Keys, and it's going to come straight up. Do you remember the one that came straight up the center of,
Irma.
well, it didn't, but it was supposed to come up the center of
That was
Florida.
Irma.
We had, they called in national,
Card.
So anyway, I stayed up all night long because you have to call everybody. You have to make sure that every vendor knows not to come. And it's hard to do because some vendors are older and maybe they don't use social media. So you're trying to call them on their phones. You're trying to text. Do they text? Will they check their email? Will they look at our event page? And so you're just spending the whole night getting a hold of everybody. And the following morning, I hadn't slept all night long, and I had one gal that showed up, and she showed up from Atlanta, Georgia, and she did blown glass, and she was sitting there on the venue going, nobody's here. And I said, you're kidding me. You came all the way down and you never turned the radio on and listened to the state of emergency in the whole state of Florida. And she just drove right down the center of the state where the hurricane was predicted to come up. And so I ended up going and meeting her for coffee on the venue and bought like $300-400 worth of stained glass, and all my friends got blown glass ornaments for Christmas.
I mean, you have to make light of that situation, right? Like, what do you do? I mean, we had a guest, Pat. Do you remember him? He was a radio personality in another market. And he was coming in. He was going to be a guest on the show. And we had crazy weather, like hurricane weather. And power lines were down and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not driving to St. Pete to the studio because that's where we were at the time. And he went in it. He was there with you guys. Do you remember that? No. Did I call him by phone? I don't remember that. Yeah, but we've seen all kinds of stuff. I mean, for our weather, unfortunately, we take the good with the bad.
Yeah, we do.
And we have to prepare for, a backup plan always when some of this crazy weather starts to roll in.
That's why we have pre-records just sitting there on the dial.
Yeah, well, not exactly. We've got a couple, but we usually
a couple on the shelf.
Yeah. So, all right, what do you got? It's Gasparilla weekend. Are you partaking in Gasparilla?
I avoid Gasparilla weekend. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to actually buy 4 Americana chicks from Shell's up on Sly Avenue, and I'm going to replenish my chicken supply.
I will be in Nashville this weekend. I know Pat will be at Disney this weekend. What about you ladies? What are you doing? Sweet and Spicy Festival is not for another couple weeks.
A couple weeks, right. So I'm about a block off of Bayshore.
So you're going to be hanging out for the parade?
I'm going to claim my parking spot right in front of my place.
Make sure you have food and water because you're not leaving?
Exactly. No, probably not.
Well, thanks, guys, for joining. Whatever you're doing this weekend, be safe. Get an Uber or a Lyft when you need it. And come check out our guests at the Sweet and Spicy Festival.
Yes.
February 8th.
Come visit Wendy and Sabrina.
And you guys will be where exactly location?
So we're at Waterworks Park, right next to you, Laley.
Beautiful venue.
Right at the end of that beautiful Riverwalk.
All right, this is Tampa Home Talk. Remember, love where you live, or we're going to fix it. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Our off-air number is 813-377-2775. 813-377-2775. Welcome home. We'll be back next week.
Thank you.